私は変わり者かもしれない。だがおかげで亮に会えた。喜ばしいことだ。確かこの辺にあったはず。さあ、一緒に探そう。
What's going on, my friends? Today we're talking about the water magician. Have you guys ever heard the saying, if you go looking for a problem, you'll find one? That's kind of how I feel right now about water magician. It's like, I genuinely enjoyed last week. I did have some problems with the demon girl and our MC not talking very much, and for him being such an an intellectual in a sense, he just kind of took stuff at face value. And there's a lot of issues I had with last week's episode, but by and large, I did like the episode. When we transition into this week's episode, the main, I don't even know the main crux, the main point. My main enjoyment of this week's episode was not the 90%. It was the 10%. And that was simply our boy, Rio, meeting Sarah, the elf girl. Learning about her and that she's a one-man party, basically. Like she's, what did she say? Her name's like, she has the B rank party of the wind, you know, or something like that. Her, the wind party or something. But she's basically a one-man party. And we got to learn a little bit more about her and the fact that, you know, it's not normal for elves to be in human civilization, you know, human settlements and stuff, but she's kind of the oddball out and she likes it here. She's a, you know, B-rank party of one. And it was all about them reuniting and seeing them again. And Rio doing research at the library about the Akihabras or whatever the demons are called. I don't know why they don't just call them demons, but you know, whatever the term is, Akubas, Akatakas, Akahabras, I don't know, Akuhitas, whatever they're called. But the demons, you know, he's doing research on the demons and stuff. And that was the main enjoyment of the episode for me. Everything surrounding it, I could care less about. Like, about Abel and, you know, Amon, you know, the roommate basically, and his party stumbling upon goblins. And the goblins are breaking out, and there was like a stampede happening, and they talked about the other parties. And I get they're doing it for world building. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I'm not a hater on world building. I love world building. But I don't quite, first off, I don't quite care about anything in the show yet, including our boy. But when it comes to like Abel and the side characters, like I don't care about them enough to dedicate 80% of an episode to either. And I was thinking as I was watching, it's like, I don't know if it's a pacing problem. I don't know, maybe the show has a pacing problem. Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe I have a problem with the show's pacing. But there's just something off. So they dedicate, you know, they dedicate 80% of the episode, you know, Amon and his party go and they find goblins. They report it back to the guild. They're like, oh, this big breakout is about to happen. And, you know, they summon everybody and the big breakout does happen. And like, okay, the breakout happens. As the whole time, our boy Rio is just flirting with the elf girl. And that was the whole episode. Nothing else happened. You know what I mean? A bunch of woohoos and boohoos and whatever else. So, I don't know. I just struggle. Like, the episode was fine. The episode was fine. Like, it wasn't... It was an episode of anime. I feel like wasting my time a little bit. But the only thing that I thought was good, in a sense, was just the interaction between Rio and Sarah, the elf girl. But that was like such a tiny portion of the show. So, I don't know. I guess I'll see you guys next week. That's all I have to say. I think this episode was a 6 out of 10. I think it was fine. I think it was mostly boring. The fight... As opposed to the fight with Rio and the demon, the fight wasn't good. The goblins were 3D and very poor. The fighting between them sucks. It shows the different levels and disparity between where Rio's at and everybody else. You know, even him practicing his, you know, water missiles or, you know, his jet streams, this episode was more exciting than the whole entire goblin fight between everybody and the goblins. Like, they suck. Like they're awful. Like even the girl can barely do like a little whooshy whoosh, you know, a little wind whoosh whoosh, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, she's the best magician." But that shows their disparity, and I think that's done intentionally, but it's boring. So yeah, 6 out of 10 is where I land. Best parts of the episode was the jet stream part and Sarah and Rio meeting. Yeah, that's how I feel. All right, I'll see you guys next week, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate you guys being here for another week as we talk about the Water Magician. Not feeling really high on it this week, so hopefully y'all can pull me back in the comments. See you then, my friends. Peace.